For no apparent reason, I decided a few weeks ago that I was going to listen to the whole Eminem discography. Initially, I wanted to make a single video reviewing his whole discography, but with 11 albums, I realized that that would have been a pretty long video. But also, since I'm going in blind, it would have been kind of really hard. So instead, I decided to go for the listen to each album and review them one by one format. So you can officially call this the Eminem Appreciation Series, where every video that I will make in this series will be an album of Eminem. Now, I personally never listened to Eminem because I never thought that I could enjoy or like his songs. I literally listened to one song when I was little, which was basically Love the Way You Lie by Rihanna, and I decided that I didn't like his voice, so I decided that that wasn't my cup of tea. But what I know prior to this is that he is white. He was very famous in the 2000s. He is controversial for his lyrics, and now that I've listened to the first album, I can say that that is an understatement because I think he made it basically his trademark. So let's dive into the Slim Shady LP and let us see if this artist is actually good or just overrated. Now, before looking at the album, I believe it is necessary to understand the background of this album. As most of us know, musicians tend to write songs based on their life and or what they're going through, and Eminem is no exception to this. Marshall Bruce Mathers, before becoming the famous Eminem, grew up in a very broken, poor, and abusive environment. He struggled for a few years to have success with his music, mainly because he was a white man trying to make it in a black-dominating genre. Before releasing the Slim Shady LP in 1999, he had tried to make it as a local rapper in Detroit, but his two first albums, Infinite and the Slim Shady EP, which I will not be reviewing because they're not on Spotify and that's the platform that I use. If you want to go listen to them, they're on YouTube, I think. But those two albums were a commercial failure. However, it is thanks to the Slim Shady EP, which was shown to Dr. Dre from Interscope Records, that he was able to sign a contract with Interscope and make the Slim Shady LP, which turned him into a quote-unquote high-profile celebrity. Slim Shady is an alter ego created by Eminem. The idea and name of Slim Shady came to Eminem after critics kept repeating that he was not going to make it because he did not belong in the rap industry. Not only because of this, but also because his life was very frustrating, and as a way to channel all of his dark thoughts and the violence that he had in him, he decided to use his alter ego and songs to put that anger to. Okay, the best way that I can describe this album sonically is that it sounds like if South Park had an album. That's the best that I can describe it. It's filled with dark humor, but underneath, Eminem paints a very gloomy and crude portrait of his reality and what he has been through. Throughout his album, you can hear a clear difference in between his Slim Shady songs or sound and the Eminem ones, if that makes sense. Usually the Slim Shadys are more violent, they're more funny sonically. You hear like a lot of laughing behind, a lot of special effects. Go listen to the album because I don't know if you can understand this, but go listen to the album. As for the Eminem ones, they're just more raw, they're more emotional, I will say. Not less violent, but just it's a different sound, definitely. And checking my notes from when I listened to the album, I wrote that it is very graphic. It tackles sexual violence, substance abuse, physical violence, but not like, oh, that's bad, but more making it like normal, which kind of makes sense because Eminem's life was very rough.
This is a public service announcement brought to you in part by Slim Shady.
I will now explain each track, a bit what the story is in each one. Although this album isn't really like a story per se, it's more of like just him talking about different topics, but we can explain them still. Credits to Madison Grace, which gave me the idea of doing this with Eminem's music. I will link her channel down below. FYI, the skits will not be explained because they're pretty self-explanatory, although they add to the whole cartoonish vibe. So we have the first track called My Name Is, and My Name Is basically an introduction to Slim Shady. As you can hear in the hook, which is actually used as chorus, you get pretty graphic lyrics about violence. Here we can already see his alter ego eccentric and violent tendency with the double entendres and his dark humor. Even the background voice effects sound a bit out of their mind, amplifying the whole Slim Shady vibe.
Hi kids, do you like Primus? Wanna see me stick 9-inch nails to each one of my eyelids?
This character is clearly the part of Eminem who embraces the dark and likes to toy with it as if the darkness in him doesn't affect him anymore. He is described as a sociopath and sounds like it. The song by itself sounds fun, but it's in fact a very crude song when you listen to the lyrics, and reveals a very dark portrait of Slim Shady's mind. Then we have the second track called Guilty Conscience. Here, there is three different situations where three different men have to choose between the dark, aka Slim Shady, or the light, aka Dr. Dre, side. The two rappers are trying to get each protagonist into their side. The third track, Brain Damage. In this track, Slim Shady narrates the story based on true events of when he was a child and got beat up so bad by his bully, D'Angelo Bailey, and had brain damage. In real life, Marshall actually fell into a coma after this incident. This track explained the origin of Slim Shady madness. Then we have the fourth track called If I Had. This song was originally from the Slim Shady EP in 1996 and was used in the Slim Shady LP of 1999. Here we hear Eminem before he created the Slim Shady alter ego. There's no Slim Shady. He opens up about how he feels exhausted of his struggles and of existence. If I Had is about how even if the world was perfect now for him, the past has hurt him in ways that he cannot just simply forget. No amount of money will make his family life or simply his life better because it is more than just the material aspect of it that is hard. Then we have the fifth track, 97 Bonnie and Clyde. In this song, Eminem killed Kim, his real-life baby mama. At the time, their relationship was dysfunctional to say the least. And on the track, he's talking to Haley, his daughter, who we can actually hear on the track. They're on their way to hide the dead body of Kim, hence the title of the song. Although he is not explicitly saying he killed her because he wants Haley to remain innocent. Overall, it is a song in which he shows how important Haley is to him, in contrast with how her mother is worthy of being killed. This song happens to be the inspiration for the cover of the album The Slim Shady LP, where we can see Eminem and Haley on the right, and in the trunk of the car we can see Kim's legs or dead body. We then go on with the track Role Model. On this track, Slim Shady is being sarcastic on how we should not see him as a role model, of course because of how he lives his life and what he sings about. And he does this by exactly saying the opposite, saying, "Don't you want to be just like me?" He also highlights the fact that at the time, most people in local radios would not pay attention to him because he was a white man rapping. He says in his lyrics, "How the F can I be white? I don't even exist." We then move on to the track My Fault. And here Slim Shady narrates an anecdote in which Sue or Susan ate some magic mushroom that he gave to her, and now she's too high and bad tripping. Throughout the song, he's trying to stop her from her bad tripping while she talks to him about her past and how it's rough, but at the end she ends up dead, probably from an overdose. This is the first time that we see Slim show some remorse from his actions. Then we have the track Come On Everybody, which originally was called This Upbeat Song Is Not That Deep. Eminem officially calls it his 10th song of the Slim Shady LP. It's a fun rap song where you can see his talent showcased even in the less important tracks. We then have Rock Bottom. This track relates the same themes as in the song If I Had. He dedicated this song to the happy people who don't know what it's like to be broke. He is suffering and has had enough of this miserable life he is in, even to the point that he would sell his soul to make it as an artist in order to have something to long for. He says, "My life is full of empty promises and broken dreams. I'm hoping things look up, but there ain't no job openings. I feel discouraged, hungry, and malnourished, living in this house with no furnace unfurnished." Then we have Just Don't Give a F. This is one of the songs of the 1996 Slim Shady EP. This is one of the first few songs in which he started putting less importance on the way he portrays his struggles. Unlike If I Had or Rock Bottom, this is very carelessly put. This is the beginning of the Slim Shady appearance or persona in his discography. He just doesn't give a F anymore. As he said in an interview, it seems as if the less he cared about being too serious in his lyric, the more people he attracted to listen to him. In the end, this carelessness that Shady brought with him is what gave him traction. We then have As the World Turns. As the World Turns is a reference to a soap opera, and Slim Shady makes a comparison with his own life. However, as he stated in the Q's magazine interview, it's just a stupid effing animated story about stereotypical white trash. It's about being a trashy kid growing up with no morals and no effing values. Every day is the same. The world keeps turning. And I want to get off this mother. There's not even a meaning in that song. Not all songs have to have meanings to them. It's just funny, you know? We then have I'm Shady. This track is lyrically a continuation of My Name Is. He sets in stone his persona. He almost presents himself as you would do the first day of class. And the moment we think Shady is not that bad, he turns an innocent sentence into a gore and disturbing lyric. For example, I like funny things that make me happy and gleeful, like when my teacher sucked my wee-wee in preschool. He continues to perpetuate the idea of not caring and joking about what the public has to say about him and the rumors that surround him. He will stay controversial, but in the end, that advantages him. Then we have the track Bad Meets Evil. In this song, we start with a western sound in the background, and Eminem is talking about the legend of Slim Shady and Royce that 5'9", who once ruled the West as everyone feared them. We then proceed to hear Slim and Royce rap about how bad and evil they were and are, and showing off their rapping talent to the world. They were partners in crime, and they will probably come back again soon for another track. We finish with Still Don't Give Up. This is the last track of the album, and as we reflect on it, Slim tells us that he still doesn't care and he will continue not giving a F about the way he thinks and what he raps about. He will unapologetically be himself. Then he proceeds to give us a classic Slim Shady track where he clearly doesn't give up, as he said in the title. My review and final thought. This, as a 19-year-old soon to be 20, I have never in my life heard something like this album, and I mean it in a good way. It is brilliant, funny, it's balanced and cohesive. Look, I wasn't even in my parents' plan when this album was released, so I don't know what the rap music sounded like in those years. But I love this. And this sound is so different, and the way that he tells us such a crude story using humor, I think it's incredible how you sit down and you feel captivated by this dark world that Eminem shows you. He makes it satirical and funny. He sounds cool, and I don't even feel cringy for saying that. That's how cool he is. I have to say that I do prefer the Slim Shady tracks more than the Eminem ones when it comes to like the sound of it, but oh my god. If I Had and 97 Bonnie and Clyde are my two favorite tracks from this album. Those two come straight from his heart. They are raw, like that's really Marshall Matters. This is a masterpiece and Marshall deserves his success, I have to say. Now, would I listen to this album for fun? It has grown on me, I will say it, but it does make me kind of sad after that I listen to it because I know the background story of it and I've like analyzed each song and each lyric, and it's also not my type of music, but I do have to say that listening to this album does make me want to explore the rap music scene and its evolution. So credits to Eminem for making me interested in his genre and his music. I have to give it a 10 on 10. Yeah, that's what I have to say for this album. I hope you enjoyed this format. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you think about the album and go listen to Eminem because he's actually very good and not only a good artist but a poet. And I'll see you in another video. I cannot wait to listen to his next album. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like it's really good and I love exploring his life. I kind of have a crush on him now even though he's my parents' age. Bye, love you.